The Weight of Silence, a psychological story. There's a strange truth about human nature that most people never realize until it's too late. People reveal more in silence than they ever do in speech. Think about it. Words can be rehearsed. Lies can be spoken. But silence? Silence creates pressure. And under that pressure, people crack. They fill the empty space with nervous explanations, hidden fears and truths they never intended to share. This is why silence is one of the most powerful weapons you can wield. Not anger, not arguments, not endless words, but silence. And one young man learned this in a way he would never forget. His name was Daniel. He was sharp, ambitious, and convinced that power came from speaking. He studied debate, memorized clever lines, and believed that the person who spoke the most in a room controlled it. For a while, it seemed to work. In business meetings, he talked fast and smooth, overwhelming others with a storm of words. But afterwards, he noticed something unsettling. People gave him less than he wanted. They walked away smiling while he walked away with doubts. One evening, his mentor leaned across the table during coffee and said, "Daniel, you're drowning yourself in words. Words are smoke. Silence is stone. Stop listening to what people say. Start listening to what they can't bring themselves to say." The words stuck with him. The next morning, Daniel faced an important negotiation. Across from him sat a client with arms crossed. Daniel laid out his price. The client shook his head sharply. Too high. Normally, Daniel would have rushed to justify himself, lowering the number, filling the room with explanations. But this time, he didn't. He said nothing. The silence hung heavy. Seconds stretched like minutes. The client shifted in his seat. Then, unable to resist, he spoke again. "Well, if delivery could be faster, maybe it works." Daniel stayed quiet. The silence deepened. The man cleared his throat. "Actually, if you can meet us halfway, I might push my budget higher." In that moment, Daniel understood. Silence wasn't weakness. It was power. It forced the other man to expose his real limits. Daniel left with the best deal of his career, not because of what he said, but because of what he didn't. Most people fear silence. They rush to fill it, exposing truths they wanted to hide. If you can master the discipline to remain calm and say nothing, you will learn more than words will ever give you, because speech can deceive, but silence always reveals.